going on, guys? My name's Liam Wetter, and we just did a podcast, our podcast called Doc Talks Fishing, with a walleye biologist who headed up the research of Northern Ontario walleyes. I'm going to give you some science-based facts that'll help you catch more and bigger walleyes this spring. See you later. Let's get some more. Alrighty guys, first things first is you need to know exactly where the walleyes spawn. So what you need to look for is lots of boulders. I mean anything from baseball sized to football, soccer, basketball, up to even beach balls, that type of size, so that the eggs can fall down deep into the cracks and then the perch and the crayfish and the smaller predators that would be looking to eat walleye eggs don't have easy access to them. Unlike smallmouth that lay a small number of eggs and protect it, walleye are broadcast spawners. So what that means is for every kilogram of fish, for every kilogram of walleye, they lay 80,000 eggs. And so you can do the math, 4, 5, 6, 7 kilogram walleyes, you start laying tons, hundreds of thousands of eggs. And the reason being is that they lay a whole bunch of eggs in hopes that a few survive because they aren't protecting them. The other thing to note is that walleye eggs need to be oxygenated. So you need to have oxygenated water flowing over the eggs, and what that means is that you either need to have a little bit of current in that area or wind blowing on it constantly. So where does the most common wind blow in from? Well, it's blowing in from the west. So go on an eastern shore where the wind is blowing from the west, so the shoreline is facing the west, and that's where there's going to be the most amount of wind. The problem is you don't want any sediment to build up in that area, and you want the water to be washing the eggs clean. So as you can see in this drone footage, this is a nice shoreline. It stretches, it's long, and it's got a ton of boulders and a ton of rubble. This would be a great walleye spawning habitat, and the other thing is it's west facing. So this is a perfect example of walleye spawning habitat. And the other really, really fascinating thing too, that I'll just say because I find it awesome, is that the older walleyes, not to anthropomorphize, but the older walleyes actually educate the younger walleyes on where to spawn. So this walleye, whatever, has 20 years of experience in this area. She knows, I say she because the big spawners are the females. She knows where to go and the best spots to lay her eggs, and so the smaller fish will actually follow her to these prime spawning grounds. So that's just another reason that big fish are so valuable. But look for the areas, like you can see here, where there's lots of rubble, the wind's blowing on it, the current's blowing around, and that's where to start. We're not fishing necessarily right on these spawning grounds, but what we are doing is fishing very, very close to them.
There we go. Yep. Right on him. 18 feet of water. Nice one. Wow, look at that.
Ate it.
Swallowed it. That's awesome.
Oh, there's a couple more behind us.
Yeah, there's a lot of fish around here.
Two? Looks like it.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Nice walleye. What we did was find a shoreline that we knew they spawned on. It's usually west facing shorelines with a lot of boulders, not slate, lots of boulders. And that's a beautiful walleye. We're gonna let her go, perky. But what they do is they spawn there and then they'll spend the next month or so near that area, and then they start to pull out wherever the food is. They're following the food. So if this bay here has a bunch of food in it, they're gonna stay near the bay, and then just after that they'll move out to the humps that are adjacent to that spawning grounds. But we're not targeting spawning fish, but what we are doing is targeting the post-spawn fish that are still right in the area.
Wally.
Oh my god. They're mixed in. It's weird. Hey?
They're all up where the life is.
Yep. Walleye, smallmouth, muskies, perch. My god, pike. We've caught 5-6 species today.
Yep.
All back to back to back too. You have no idea what's gonna hit.
All the walleyes in the lake, all the food in the lake, everything's up near the shore. Right now, where you spend the majority of the summer is quite sterile. Actually, the water's relatively cold, and there's not a lot of fish out there right now. Everything, all the life is near shore in the warm water.
Another thing to note is that these walleyes right now, the nymphs, the Mayfly nymphs, have been on the bottom for 2 years, and they're as big as they're ever going to be right now, the ones that are about to hatch, and the walleyes are picking them up on the bottom. And in the next couple weeks, 2 weeks or so, the mayflies are going to hatch, and then I'll come back and show you how to catch walleyes during the mayfly hatch, because that's something that a lot of people really struggle with. But right now, the nymphs are on the bottom, and the walleyes are feeding that. The other interesting thing too is if you keep a couple walleyes for dinner and you clean them, and it looks like there's mud in their stomach, that's a dead giveaway that they're eating mayflies and mayfly larvae. Also, everything that we've been walleye fishing today, that's the target species, but we've caught absolutely everything. Smallmouth bass, yellow perch, tons of pike. We even caught a muskie today. They're out of season, so I had to let them go beside the boat. But absolutely everything is in here, feeding on the warm, fertile water where there's lots of life and lots of fish. So it's been really cool.
Oh my god. Oh, double-headed knuckle. So you get back into the warmer water. They go target them and...
Yep.
Oh, nice one.
Secret little walleye trick is to throw a deep diving jerkbait.
And never pass up a tree.
Yep.
Probably thinks he's eating one of his last year's.
Yeah.
We got a few fish on the screen. Just on a little point. There we go. Ooh. Beauty walleye. Yeah. Got him. That's awesome. Well, there's another one. Proof is in the pudding. early season walleyes aren't far from where they spawned, and they're putting on the feed bag now, getting hungry, starting to move out. You guys can do this exact same thing too. Walleyes are one of those fish where 95% of the lake has no walleyes in it, and there's 5% of the lake that is very specific that holds the walleyes. So it's extremely important to find these fish. The other thing too, they're heavily schooling, so when you find pods of walleyes, you found quite a few walleyes, and right now they're near the spawning grounds. They've just moved out. They're gonna hang around the area for a while, and then after that, they're gonna distribute to the reefs across the lake. So intercept them this time of the year, get on it quick, and you guys should have a heyday.